the greatest wide receiver, self-proclaimed ever, spoke yesterday to the media and said, I'm the greatest. Mr. Randy Moss. He is not the greatest. I'm going to put that on record right now. Randy Moss, you are a great wide receiver. You put up great numbers. Your best days, though, in my mind, were in Minnesota. You were awful in Oakland. You were okay half the time. You were good half the time in New England. People almost forget you played for the Titans. You, sir, are not the greatest ever. You have never, ever in your career led the league in receiving yards. Ever. How can you be considered the greatest if you've never even led one season in receiving yards? Randy Moss, you're good. You're great. You're probably a Hall of Famer. But you, sir, are not the best ever.
No. You know what? My favorite part of this whole story was Jerry Rice's reaction. Did you see him on ESPN? It was great. Jerry Rice just sat there and he's like this. He's like, look, I can't believe he said that. I'm very surprised he said that. But I don't do my my argument by talking. I do this. I win rings. I win rings and I set records. I let my fans decide who's the greatest of all time. And he was done. And I'm like, that is just awesome. Like, what a great way to say that. Like, oh, my Super Bowl rings and my name in the record books. Yeah, see those? Yeah, that's my reputation. Yours is this. Don't get me wrong. One of my favorite parts, all the years I've watched Randy Moss play, is when he beats a corner and he just tosses that arm up. Doesn't even look back. I love that. I do. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, but that was back when he was playing in Minnesota.
Minnesota and the record year that they did in New England, he blew past guys that year. He really was. He was just so amped to have a great quarterback in his life.
Well, deer antlers will do that to you.
But my favorite part about this is, in my opinion, when it comes down to being a wide receiver, you can go back to his Minnesota's days, and he wasn't even the best wide receiver on his own team. Chris Carter, to me, was a better wide receiver. And I hope you guys understand what I mean by that. At everything that comes with being a wide receiver, Chris Carter was better. Has there ever been a guy that can blow past people down the field like Randy Moss did? Probably not. And if Randy Moss said, I'm the greatest deep threat to ever play NFL football, I probably wouldn't even argue with him on that one. Nobody's beating people down the field like I don't know, just beating them down the field like Randy Moss did. That I'll give him. Greatest of all time, though, he's smoking crack. He's taking too much deer antler. I don't care what you want to say. He's not right. Stats. He says he doesn't go on the stats because he's a game changer. He's a difference maker in a game. Well, I won't argue with you. You are a game changer. You sprint down the field. You blow past coverages. You score touchdowns. Awesome. Still, with all that being said, you spent an entire year off of an NFL roster because nobody wanted you. You wasted how much time in Oakland, as Erich already mentioned. And since you've been in San Francisco, it's not like you're having a great year. You've had moments where you've helped them win. But for the most part, you're just another guy on the roster. They could live without you and probably still be exactly where they are now. So with that said, let's just look at the stats. Randy Moss, 982 receptions. It's awesome. 982. It's a lot.
I got our next topic here, and I'm about to blow you out of the water with it.
Jerry Rice, 1,549 receptions. That is literally almost 600 more catches. That's like 6-7 seasons of catches. Not done. 15,292 receiving yards for Mr. Moss. 22,895 receiving yards for Mr. Rice. Another 7,603 receiving yards. 156 receiving touchdowns for Moss. 197 for Jerry Rice. Another 41.
They say he needs another 7 years to pass all of Jerry Rice's stats.
And then you got 13 Pro Bowls to 6. Jerry had 13. Moss had 6. But to me, the most important fact of it all, 3 Super Bowls won, 4 Super Bowls played in, 1 Super Bowl MVP, in which he had 215 yards and a touchdown in that game, and his Super Bowl career stats, 33 receptions, 589 yards, and 8 touchdowns. The 33 receptions and 8 touchdowns are receiver records for a Super Bowl, or for in the career for Super Bowl yard or receptions and touchdowns. So, Moss, you want to say you don't use stats? That's fine. But everybody else that's part of this conversation
uses them.
Uses stats. And you will never, ever be put above Jerry Rice unless it is strictly an argument about who could beat you downfield. Outside of that, you will never be in a comparison with Jerry Rice. I will give Randy Moss the fact that he was arguably the best wide receiver at beating guys downfield and making big plays. But route running, no. Catching, no. Attitude, no. Everything else, no. I'll give you down the field. Congratulations. You got 1 category. That's where I put you. So as you can tell, ladies and gentlemen, none of us agree at all that Randy Moss is the best wide receiver ever.
Nope.